Hello, everybody. Yeah, today's video, a very special video for me because I wanted to talk. I was tagged by Nintendo 2009, amazing YouTuber. Just really my 10 favorite, the 10 DVDs, wrestling DVD wise that I would never get rid of. I'll probably put some honorable mentions later in the video, but a couple of them, 10 of them, in which I would never get rid of, and a reason why. Number one is a company that, to me, I have a special place inside of me that to this day I still love this company. Not what it was until it became a certain company and all that, but the early days, I should say. TNA year one. You can say whatever you want about TNA. Oh my God, they had probably some of the most amazing matches in their early days and all that. AJ Styles, Jerry Lynn versus AJ Styles versus Senshi. America's Most Wanted versus A New Church. A New Church was basically, which I can't remember who were their members. The most violent feud that ignited Revolution TNA's tag team ranks. What a lot of people don't understand is how amazing in the early days tag team was in TNA. And how interesting it was, because you had, back in the early days, you had Triple X, you had AMW, you had later on, probably in the mid to late 2000s, Konnan created a faction called LAX, Latin American Exchange, which he brought back years later with Impact and such. But yeah, just really some amazing tag teams that just really showed that this company actually cared about wrestling. Until a certain individual pretty much took control and just really got in the ear of probably one of the dumbest human beings on the planet. I'm talking about what's her name again? I can't remember. I hate her so much I can't fucking remember. Dixie Carter. Yeah, Dixie Carter. One of the dumbest. I have nothing against women, but one of the dumbest and stupidest persons I've ever seen that has no wrestling knowledge, that has zero interest in the wrestling business, that had nothing to do with this fucking business, and she fucking did stupid shit, and she listened to the fucking idiot Vince Russo. That is the biggest thing that pisses me off, is when you listen to Vince Russo, you just fucking take a gun and you shoot yourself. Because you just fucking killed your company right there. The early days were pretty good because Jarrett was pretty much controlling a lot of Vince Russo. But when Vince Russo, like I said, got in the ear of Dixie behind the back of Jeff, that's exactly when she hired, probably the one thing that killed that company, and in which it is now Impact, is Hogan and Bischoff. Hogan and Bischoff fucking killed that company. They completely disintegrated that company from what it was. It was starting to really have a momentum and all that, and just really took a bulldozer and just wrecked inside that fucking company. But yeah, I don't give a damn what anybody says, because that company, TNA, Total Nonstop Action, used to be an amazing company. Have some awesome matches. Either be Joe versus Kurt Angle, Christian Cage versus all sorts of different talent and all that. That really, a lot of these guys cared about the business, cared about the company. And when Joe came in, had some amazing fucking feuds with AJ Styles, with so many other different wrestlers and all that. And pretty much how I... Oh, the heck? Oh. Okay. Okay. Just a little advertisement for TNA Mobile. Damn. Okay. But yeah, the early days. Pretty much they were $10 a pop and all that, and I actually ordered a lot of them. I do have, I still to this day, I still have a lot of them upstairs taped on VHS. And when I mean a lot, I mean like a big tote tub full of them. Before they started their pay-per-views per month and all that. And it's pretty much just really, if it wasn't for TNA, pretty sure AJ Styles wouldn't be what he is right now. If he wouldn't have gotten an opportunity to go to Japan, to know New Japan Pro Wrestling, he probably would have never had a chance to go to WWE and just show his amazing skills and all that. Quite possibly one of the most underrated and wrestler other than the indie wrestling fan talks about is the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. One of the most underrated, underutilized talent that has never made it big in the wrestling business. He's made it big in the indies, but he's never made it big like in WWE. I think late 90s, early 2000s, I do think he had a trial in the WWE, but it didn't really last long. Pretty much when he went to TNA and ROH and a lot of these companies, independent, to this day, he still was wrestling. It's really amazing talent. For his age, I think he's like close to 50. And must be 45, 50. And just like Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn, one of the most amazing wrestler. For his age, he could wrestle. He could fucking wrestle you for 60 minutes and give you one of the best matches that you could ever have. Even Christopher Daniels, you could wrestle that guy for 60 freaking minutes. You're just really a generic type, nobody and all that, and he would basically just really give you a push, give you something, and out of a certain wrestler and all that, that just really, you cared about that wrestler. So, yeah, not a whole lot of people, either women or men, can do that. I'm going to stop talking about this because I could be here for hours just really talking about this. The next one has to be probably in my top 5 favorite matches of all time. Since I bought this, oh my god, I just really, the 2005 match of the year and the event, Joe versus Kabashi, amazing fucking main event. If any of you people out there have never seen the match, go out of your way and go watch it online. There's probably somewhere you can watch it. Go watch the match. Just go see how amazing, how brutal the match is. So yeah. The next one is the night that Joe was born. The night that made Samoa Joe Samoa Joe. One of the greatest ROH champion ever. To this day, nobody in that company's ever beaten his record. I think 600 some days as ROH champion. And nobody has ever how can I say this? Not amassed, but gotten as long as he did with the title. And just really, when Samoa Joe started in ROH, nobody would have ever thought the guy would become this big and this amazing. And back in the old days in ROH, really, either you were CM Punk, either you were D. Bryan, either you were Samoa Joe, or any other wrestler in ROH, they would give you a proper sending. That pretty much to this day, I still have a tear in my eye because it's just really, it's so amazing. But yeah, I don't remember. I think it was. I can't remember who beat him. I don't remember who beat him. But yeah, that's the big reason why I would never get rid of this one right here. Is mostly it created Joe. We created the legend of Samoa Joe that night. The next one is probably my top 5 favorite ladder matches of all time. That match right here is one of the most brutal fucking ladder matches you will ever see. Man Up. I think I remember renting a pay-per-view. And I do think I have it taped upstairs on VHS, but I decided to buy a DVD to support ROH. But yeah, the main event, it was so amazing. Words really cannot say anything about this match, how amazing it was. Yeah. You had... bonus matches. Amazing Kong and Daisy Hayes versus Lacey and Sarah Del Rey. B.G. Whitmer and Brent Albright versus Chadson, Rance, and Kenny King. Tyler Black versus Jack Evans. Matt Sydal versus Delirious. Delirious is pretty much runs a school, the ROH. I don't remember what they call it, but he runs the school. And I don't remember if he's still the booker for ROH, but yeah. You have Davey Richards versus Austin Aries, Roderick Strong versus Eric Stevens. ROH World Title match, Takeshi Morishima versus Bryan Danielson. It's really amazing matches. Here, this right there. One DVD in TNA that I would never, not in a million, billion, trillion years, I would sell, because it's probably in my top 5 favorite tag teams of all time, and they were so amazing. America's Most Wanted, the best of. Just really, this was the original 2-disc that they released. There is a bunch of scratches on it, but still, it just really plays well. The second one's not too bad. The first one has terrible scratches on it, really here and there. But they did release years later. They did release an AMW DVD set, but it was only a 1-disc. But this right here, this is a rare thing to find, the 2-disc AMW America's Most Wanted, the best of DVD. Okay, now we're gonna go to WWE style. The history of the World Heavyweight Championship. This right here I would never get rid of, because you have a lot of footage from WCW and WWE. So, what really makes this one is there's an old match here, I should say. 2 out of 3 falls for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Pat O'Connor versus Buddy Rogers. The NWA World Heavyweight Championship match. Gene Kiniski versus One of the legendary Funk members, Dory Funk Jr., NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Dusty Rhodes versus a wrestler that could have been something, but it's really a shame what happened to him, Magnum TA. NWA World Heavyweight Championship, Nature Boy Ric Flair versus Sting. WCW World Heavyweight Championship match, Sting versus Hollywood Hogan. I don't know if this one was the Starrcade 1987 one, but yeah. WCW World Heavyweight Championship match, The Rock versus Chris Jericho, and World Heavyweight Championship match, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. Triple threat match for the world title, Batista versus The Undertaker versus Edge. A couple of other matches. Okay, you have a documentary in here. A couple of other matches. Human Cage. Wow, Human Cage for the... Huh? Okay. Human... Like a human being and all that. Human Cage for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Vader versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which I have no clue what that is. I've never really watched it, so I don't know what it is. Career versus career steel cage match for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, Halloween Havoc. This right here really brought me to a different level. WCW Halloween Havoc was the first pay-per-view that I ever rented. The month later, I was going to rent. I wanted to rent Survivor Series 1994, but yeah, it didn't work out. The pay-per-view fricked up or something like that, and I couldn't watch it that night. It really pissed me off. World Heavyweight Championship match, and I didn't order another WWF pay-per-view until WrestleMania 14. So, World Heavyweight Championship match, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels again, etc., etc., etc. There's so many, many amazing world title matches, either be in WCW, the NWA, the AWA, WCCW, either be ROH, either be New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling. In the history in the last 60, 70 years, there were so many amazing world title matches that probably a lot of us will never see the light of day. Either the footage is either destroyed or Vince doesn't want to release it. So, yeah. Considered by many as one of the greatest WrestleMania ever made, WrestleMania X7. This right here is a pretty amazing match. Shane versus Mr. McMahon. There's other matches which I don't know why I didn't. Okay. It's a really shame they don't give you a little paper anymore. But yeah, Okay, here we go. Got a gimmick battle royal. Triple H versus The Undertaker was a really, really awesome match. TLC 2, awesome match. Street Fight again, Shane McMahon. Shawn Michaels. Shane McMahon versus Mr. McMahon and all that. Probably the highlight of that match was when Shane put the garbage can on his father and all that, and just really, from post to post, just really kicked it in. That was an amazing moment. Women's Championship match, Ivory champion versus Chyna. Decent match. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. European Championship match, Test versus Eddie Guerrero, before he became I don't think he was Latino Heat back in those days. But yeah, triple threat match for the Hardcore Championship: Raven versus Big Show versus Kane, and I do think that is the match itself that one little inch could have completely killed the pay-per-view. Because Raven wasn't I think it was Raven or the Big Show was in like a golf cart, and you actually hit like the cables and such, and it was about a couple inches, about 1 or 2 inches of destroying something and just completely killing the pay-per-view. Yeah. The IC title match: Chris Jericho versus William Regal, WWF commissioner. Commissioner. Yeah, you're the commissioner. A lot of these matches, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember Triple H versus Undertaker was amazing. I don't know what it's going to be like years later at the Australian mega event. I think is October 6th in Australia. I don't know how it's going to be, but yeah. The next one is my number one all-time favorite wrestling documentary ever made, and it's close. I think it's 3 hours and a half, probably 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. And it was from the beginning till the fall of ECW. Just really, I wish that Raven could have been there, the Sandman could have been there, a lot of the really individuals that really created that company could have been there. But yeah, it just really brings you to the moment ECW, Eastern Championship Wrestling, until the creation of ECW with the franchise. Well, he wasn't called the franchise back. I don't think he was called the franchise back then, but Shane Douglas, and just pretty much completely annihilated Eastern Championship Wrestling and just created ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling. So yeah, it's pretty much the rise and the semi-demise of the company, and then a little of the rise, and then pretty much how it died and such. Just really, there's no company out there that really gave a damn about the fans as much as ECW did. There's a lot of companies out there now that give a damn about the fans, but there's not a guy like Paul Lee that really went all out, that damn near killed himself day in and day out, mentally, physically, for 6-7 years without a break and all that, and just really went all out. I mean, the one negative thing about this, he did screw a lot of guys out of money and everything. He does owe a lot of money to a lot of guys. But yeah, a must-own documentary for anybody out there that loves the original ECW. If you don't have a documentary and you're an ECW fan, you're not an ECW fan. You're just a wannabe type of fan, because you have to see, not to insult anybody, but you really have to see this documentary. This documentary, I wish they would post it on WWE Network so everybody could see it. It's really, really cheap now, so. Probably one of my all-time favorites, SummerSlam of all time. Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. Probably in my top 10 favorite matches ever. Chris Benoit versus RVD. Undisputed Championship match, The Rock versus Brock Lesnar, in which Brock Lesnar wins his first title in the company. Yeah, pretty much the semi-main event and the main event Really pretty much make the show so amazing. Chris Benoit versus... Did I say Chris Jericho? Sorry about that. Chris Benoit versus RVD. I don't really... A lot of it I don't remember. But the last two matches are just really what makes this pay-per-view so amazing. So, yeah. And last but not least, I just really had to put this stuff that I would never get rid of. I would never get rid of. I'm trying to say it doesn't want to come out. Raw 28th anniversary. Just an amazing, amazing, and did I say amazing? I think 20 of the best episodes of Raw, I think. A 12 disc set. Yeah. 20 greatest episodes of Raw. I do hope next year, between now and August 2019, I hope, I'm crossing my fingers, they release a SmackDown, a best of SmackDown. And don't, I'm begging you, do not include a lot of SmackDown from this era and all that. Do include SmackDown, a lot of SmackDown footage from the early exception. The creation of SmackDown from 99 until now. And just pretty much put a lot of footage from back in the early 2000s and all that, when SmackDown was really amazing. But yeah, it's pretty much a lot of the best episodes of Raw ever. And you have the Coming Home show to USA. So yeah. Anyways, I'm about to lose my voice, so I think I'm going to leave you. Everybody, hope a lot of you guys enjoyed it.